The wedding planning meeting felt like a corporate board session. My sister Charlotte sat at her dining table, iPad open, color-coded spreadsheets displayed. "We need to discuss logistics," she announced. "The venue holds 200 guests. We have valets for the first wave, but need additional help for overflow parking." My mother Patricia looked around, then her eyes landed on me. "Rebecca can help with that. She doesn't have much going on career-wise." I was sitting right there. At 32, being volunteered for valet duty like a teenager needing gas money. "Mom, I have work," I said quietly. "Your aircraft maintenance thing?" Charlotte waved dismissively. "Rebecca, this is my wedding. Surely you can take Saturday off from whatever you do at that hangar." What I did at that hangar was run Morrison Aviation Services, a private aircraft management company I'd built over 8 years. We maintained and managed 17 private jets for high-net-worth clients. Last year's revenue was $8 million. But to my family, I was Rebecca who worked with airplanes. Something vaguely embarrassing compared to Charlotte's marketing career or my brother David's hospital administrator position. "The wedding is at Westfield Estate," the coordinator said. "Beautiful venue, but the private airstrip can be challenging. Several guests requested permission to land private aircraft." My ears perked up. I knew Westfield's airstrip well. I'd landed there dozens of times for clients. "How many aircraft?" I asked. The coordinator checked her tablet. 5 so far. Small jets mostly. "Rebecca can help with that too," my mother said brightly. "Since she knows about planes." Charlotte's fiancé Nathan spoke up. "Actually, that could be useful. Rebecca, do you know anything about managing aircraft arrivals?" I opened my mouth to explain I did this professionally, but Charlotte cut me off. "She does maintenance work, Nathan. Like changing oil. But I'm sure she can help direct people from the airstrip." She turned to me with forced patience. "Just be there early, help with parking coordination. Wear something presentable. This is a high-profile wedding." High profile because Nathan's father was a state senator and his mother came from old money. The guest list included politicians and business executives. Charlotte had been planning this wedding like a campaign. "I'll be there," I said simply. What I didn't mention was that 3 of those 5 jets were aircraft I managed. My clients, including a tech CEO and a real estate developer, had been invited through Nathan's family connections. They had no idea the woman managing their multimillion-dollar aircraft was related to the bride. I'd kept my professional life separate from family for years. After countless dismissive comments about my airplane hobby, I'd stopped trying to explain. My phone buzzed. A message from my operations manager Lisa, confirming arrival times for Westfield Estate wedding Saturday. Johnson's G650 at 2 p.m., Peterson's Citation at 2:30 p.m., Chen's Falcon at 3 p.m. Plus 2 new clients requesting landing slots. "Want me to coordinate?" I typed back. "I'll handle ground coordination personally. Full support staff on site." "Rebecca, are you even listening?" Charlotte's sharp voice cut through. "Sorry, work message." "On a Saturday?" My father Richard shook his head. "Surely the hangar can survive without you for one day." "It's not just the hangar." "We know, sweetheart," my mother interrupted. "You work very hard at your little business. But Charlotte's wedding is important. Family comes first. My little business. $8 million in annual revenue, 17 aircraft, 12 employees, and the best safety record in the region." The week before the wedding, Charlotte called at midnight, frantic. "The Harrisons are flying in from Boston," she said. "Private jet. Nathan's mother wants them treated like royalty. Can you make sure someone meets them at the airstrip?" "The Harrisons," I repeated, checking my database. "Thomas and Diane Harrison, owners of Harrison Properties. Their Gulfstream G550 was one of my managed aircraft. I'll handle it personally." "Really? Thank you, Rebecca. Nathan's family is so connected, so sophisticated. I just want everything perfect." The unspoken message. She wanted to prove our family belonged in their world. The day before the wedding, I confirmed final details. 5 of my managed aircraft would arrive, plus 3 more jets I'd agreed to support. 8 private aircraft, collectively worth over $200 million, all requiring coordination while my family thought I was parking cars. Lisa called with an update. "Senator Morrison's office just requested an additional landing slot." He's flying in on his personal 737. Nathan's father has a 737? Apparently. And Rebecca? He specifically requested Morrison Aviation handle ground services. I smiled. Confirm it. Full white glove service. Saturday morning arrived with perfect weather. I dressed in professional attire, tailored black pants, crisp white shirt, Morrison Aviation blazer. My family assumed I was trying to look presentable for valet duties. I arrived at Westfield Estate at noon. My team was already there. Lisa coordinating with the tower, 3 ground service coordinators at the airstrip, 2 guest services representatives ready. The estate coordinator approached nervously. Are you Rebecca Morrison? I'm told you're coordinating aircraft arrivals. That's correct. When the bride said her sister would handle it, I was concerned. But Senator Morrison's office specifically requested your company. They said you're the best in the region. At 1:30 p.m. my mother called. Rebecca, where are you? We need help setting up parking cones. I'm at the airstrip, Mom. Handling the aircraft arrivals like Charlotte asked. Oh. Well, don't take too long. At 2 p.m. the first jet appeared, Johnson's G650. I guided it to position and personally greeted David and Karen Johnson as they descended. Rebecca. David looked surprised. I didn't know you'd be here. My sister's wedding. I'm coordinating ground services. Your sister is marrying Senator Morrison's son? Karen's eyes widened. Small world. By 2:45 p.m., 3 more aircraft had landed. Each arrival my team performed flawlessly. My clients were impressed and surprised to learn this was my family event. At 3:15 p.m., the Senator's 737 touched down. The Boeing 737 dwarfed the other aircraft. I coordinated its parking, then waited as Senator Morrison and his wife descended. Ms. Morrison, the Senator extended his hand. My office told me you run the finest aviation services on the East Coast. I see they weren't exaggerating. Thank you, Senator. Welcome to your son's wedding. I didn't realize you were Charlotte's sister. Nathan never mentioned his future sister-in-law ran Morrison Aviation. It hasn't come up, I said diplomatically. His wife Eleanor touched my arm. Dear, is your family here already? At the venue. I've been coordinating aircraft arrivals. You mean you're working your own sister's wedding? Eleanor looked appalled. The aviation coordination needed someone qualified. At the venue I could see guests arriving. My brother David stood awkwardly directing valet traffic. My mother spotted me and waved frantically. I walked over, still in my Morrison Aviation blazer. Rebecca, thank goodness. The valets are overwhelmed. She stopped, staring at my blazer. What are you wearing? This is appropriate, Mom. It's my company uniform. Your company? Before I could answer, the Johnsons appeared. David Johnson called out, Rebecca. Excellent work as always. Your team is phenomenal. Karen Johnson joined us. Mrs. Morrison? You must be so proud of Rebecca. Morrison Aviation is the best aircraft management in the industry. My mother's face cycled through confusion and dawning shock. Aircraft management? Rebecca owns the company, David explained. Manages our entire fleet. We've been clients for 4 years. More clients began arriving from the airstrip, each stopping to greet me, thank me, compliment the service. Thomas Harrison, Chin Industries CEO. Peterson Developments founder. Every conversation made it clearer. I wasn't some mechanic helping out. I was running the operation. Charlotte appeared, resplendent in her pre-ceremony outfit, confusion on her face as she watched executives treat her sister like a valued professional. Rebecca, what's going on? Why are all these people talking about your company? I tried to tell you, I said quietly. Morrison Aviation Services. I own it. These are my clients. You own. But you said you do maintenance work. You said I do maintenance work. I said I work in aviation. Nathan joined us, his father beside him. Senator Morrison smiled warmly. Charlotte, you never mentioned your sister runs Morrison Aviation. I just spent 20 minutes trying to poach her services for my 737. Charlotte stared at me. You manage private jets? 17 of them currently. Plus ground services support for others like today. 17 private jets, my father repeated slowly, having joined the circle. Rebecca, why didn't you tell us? I tried, Dad. For 8 years. Every time I mentioned the company, you called it my airplane hobby or my little business. You volunteered me for valet parking. You assumed I was a mechanic because you never bothered to ask what I actually do. The assembled clients and guests had formed an audience, watching this family drama unfold on Westfield Estates' lawn. Eleanor Morrison touched Charlotte's arm gently. Dear, perhaps after. No, Charlotte interrupted. I need to understand. Rebecca, you own a multimillion-dollar company. Last year's revenue was $8 million. This year we're tracking toward 10. My mother had gone pale. $8 million? Thomas Harrison cleared his throat. If I may, Rebecca Morrison is one of the most respected professionals in private aviation. Her company's safety record is impeccable, her client service legendary. You should be extraordinarily proud. The ceremony was scheduled to start in 30 minutes, but Charlotte stood frozen, her timeline derailed by the revelation that her valet parking sister was actually more successful than she'd imagined. Nathan spoke gently. Charlotte, we should probably. I made you volunteer for parking, Charlotte said, her voice breaking. I made you work your own sister's wedding because I thought you were. I'm so sorry, Rebecca. The ceremony went on, but the mood had changed. Guests whispered about the Morrison aviation news. Senator Morrison introduced me to 3 new clients during cocktails. At the reception, Nathan's father gave a toast. Today we welcome the Morrison family. Charlotte's sister Rebecca runs the aviation company my office has praised for months. What a remarkable family. People clapped, but it felt awkward. Later Mom found me. Rebecca, I owe you an apology. Yes, I said. You do. Why didn't you make us understand? I tried, Mom. You never listened. So I stopped talking and just worked. Charlotte and Nathan walked over. Rebecca, can we talk? We went to a quiet spot in the garden. I've been blind to who you really are, Charlotte said. Yes, I agreed. Nathan's father wants to move his aviation account to your company, she continued. 3 of his partners want your card too. I was trying to impress his family, but you already have. Nathan added, you could have shown off today, but you didn't. That shows real class. I don't need to embarrass my family to prove my worth, I said. I know what I've built. Your opinions don't change that. As the night went on, everything ran smoothly. Before leaving, Senator Morrison said, I'm serious about that proposal. Let's meet soon. When most guests left, my family gathered near the valet station, the place they thought I'd be working. Dad approached first. Rebecca, I've been a fool. Yes, I said. Can you forgive us? Forgiveness means you understand the harm you caused, I said. Making me park cars while managing your guests' aircraft wasn't just rude, it showed you never saw me. David said softly, we'll do better. I hope so, I replied. Morrison Aviation is expanding. The senator's account alone means 2 new planes. I'll soon open in 3 more cities. Charlotte hugged me. I'm proud of you. I should have said it years ago. You should have, I said. But it's not too late to start. Driving home, still in my company blazer, I thought about everything. They tried to make me park cars, not knowing I managed aircraft worth millions. They called my work a hobby while I built a respected company. The praise felt good, but the real validation was never theirs to give. It came from what I'd created, the clients I served, and the standards I kept. They finally saw my worth. But I'd known it all along. That was the difference. Their worth needed recognition. Mine existed on its own.